Let's go. Cooper Flag did change me. Come on now. How do I look again at posts? Trade proposals. Let's see. Let's go top in the last 24 hours. Derek White to the Warriors. I'm sure this is fair. Yeah, I'm sure this is a fair trade. Kuminga to the Celtics. Kuminga just does not scream a Boston Celtics to me. Like I cannot imagine Brad Stevens being like super in on being super in. How are they also getting Jovic in this trade? What is this? LMAO. A piece of shit because I'm a dumbass. Fanspo's back, baby. Fanspo's back. Trade idea. Vucevic to the Warriors. With Kuminga going to the Bulls in a sign and trade. So this one's actually like seems a little bit more realistic. I say you make your own trade. Hold on. Let me real quick. Let me see what people have been cooking up for the Mavs. Top this week. Let's see. Lakers-Mavs do a reasonable trade. Post-draft results. Gafford and PJ go to the Lakers, as does Lonzo, Javon Carter. Rui goes to the Bulls. So why? So immediately, why are the Bulls doing this? Yeah, the Bulls don't even need to be involved in this trade. Like, what are they doing this trade for? They're trading away Lonzo, who probably has some real value across the league, and also giving up second-round picks. To get Rui? Like, is that just a salary thing? But they literally just paid Lonzo. That's a horrible return for the Mavs. Reeves, Vando, Jordan Goodwin, 2028 second from the Bulls, and a future first from the Lakers for Gafford and PJ. Oh, wow. Look, Fanspo really did fix all of their shit. It tells you how close they are to the apron, all of that. That's nice. That's not the worst for the Mavs. That's not the worst for the Mavs. But yeah, the Bulls one doesn't make sense. I don't think the Bulls should even be involved in this. I don't think they have to be. Lakers offseason. Here we go. Lakers offseason. Mavs get a point guard. I mean, these ones always confuse me. So you're signing all these players? Like, what am I? Okay. So Wiggins and Gafford to the Lakers. Plus $70 million. How does this work? How exactly does that work? Okay. They're also signing Brogdon to a minimum and Hayes to a minimum. Is that Clint Capella? Is that the biannual or is that the taxpayer mid-level? All right. Heat get Rui Hachimura, Maxi Kleba, in a first-round pick swap for Wiggins. Okay. The Mavs are getting Colin Sexton. So the Mavs get Colin Sexton and they give up Gafford, Hardy, in a second. That's it. Okay. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, the Jazz are getting a future Lakers pick in this scenario. It honestly isn't the worst. This isn't the worst trade I've seen. This was really not that bad. You see CBS Sports had a mock trade that PJ, Martin, Dwight, 29 and 32 first for Derek White? I did see that. Yeah. I mean, I would love Derek White. Dallas, OKC, Chicago deal. So the Thunder get PJ. Oh my Lord. Yeah, I would do this in a heartbeat. I would do something like this in a heartbeat. The Mavs are getting Kobe White for PJ, and that's all they're giving up. I would do that. With the addition of Cooper Flag. I would do that. Can't hurt you if you're on the team. Exactly. But also PJ. Oh yeah, dude. No, the Thunder don't do this. Ujman Jang, they got it there. He's untouchable. No. But Topic, But 3 firsts. One of them being a Utah first. Is that protected or something? A 24th overall pick this year and the Thunder's own pick in 26. Those are not very good picks. But a Utah one. 1 through 8 protected. Yeah, I think in this scenario, you probably have to get rid of this pick, and the Mavs would probably have to send a pick. Would be my guess. Cavaliers offseason plan. Well, I see Darius Garland on the Mavs, so let's see what this is all about. Let's see what's cooking here. The Mavericks are getting Darius Garland. Okay. How are we getting there? Jared Allen's on the Lakers. Okay, so the Cavs are just blowing up their entire team. All right. Klay Thompson's on the Kings along with Jaden Hardy and a Lakers first-round pick. Dwight Powell's on the Raptors? No, this can't happen. Can't happen. Nope. DeAndre Hunter's on the Raptors. So the Cavs are just completely... What is this 2K ass? The Cavs have completely blown up their team. RJ, Rui, PJ, Jonas Valanciunas, and Keon Ellis are all now part of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they've lost... They're basically replacing Garland with RJ. Oh, man, no, this is bad for the Cavs. This is bad for Cleveland. The Mavs are getting Darius Garland for PJ, Klay, and a first. Okay, I'm in on that. Yeah, I mean, in this scenario, the Lakers are only giving up Rui and 1 pick for Jared Allen. I'm so sure. I'm so sure. White to Dallas. Is this fair? Let's see. Derek White to the Mavs. Hardy and picks to the Nets. Just for salary cap stuff. Could see the Nets doing shit like this. Celtics get Gafford, Christie, and a 29 swap, which the Mavericks already are swapping with the Rockets, so that swap's just going to be a swap. The Lakers pick in the 2031 first. God. I would love Derek White on this team. If Derek White were like 29, or not 29, like 26, I would say fuck it. But that's just like, that's a little too rich for my blood. It's a little too rich for my blood. I would love Derek White on this team. Oh, I would love it. Oh, you guys have no idea how much I would love it. Win, win, win. Oh, God, Marcus Smart on the Mavs. Mavs trade Caleb Martin and Gafford for Marcus Smart. Where's the win there for Dallas? That's a huge loss. That's a horrible fucking trade for Dallas. From Luka is the best. Okay. All right, that makes sense. I mean, it's a huge win for the Wizards. I'm trading away Marcus Smart and getting a 2031 first. Like, wait. If I'm the Mavs, I'm saying, why the fuck am I not getting that pick? Why are the Wizards getting that pick? Why am I not getting that pick? This is a horrific trade. It's close. No, it isn't. Oh, I must be logged in. Hold up. I have an account on here. Let me log in. I forgot what my login was, though. Is it through my Twitter? All right, here we go. Hold up. Let's look at Let's look at what was our community draft last year. Sar, Risache, Bazulis. Oh, hey, we were kind of cooking there. Ron Holland, Klingon, Reed Shepard, Cody Williams. That ended up being pretty high. Oh, I didn't put the names. Who did I have? Steph Castle, 10th to the Jazz. It's a good pick. You cooked with the Knicks. Terrence Shannon Jr. and Baylor Shireman. Great character guy, sneaky athletic, someone you want to bring home to your mother, and he could shoot. There you go. Dude, we did... Oh, Otto. I was about to say, there's no way we did a second round. You drafted Cody Williams? Cody Williams, Jeremy Grant replacement because he's getting traded to Dallas. Oh, well, there you go. What was this Raptors? What's happening there? Brody 32. Hey, Isaiah Collier to the Jazz. Got that right. All right, no, let's cook up some trades. Let's chef up something real quick. Just to wrap up today's stream. Let's chef up something. An AD trade? Mavs get Kobe White. Let's chef up something. How can the Mavs get Kobe White? I think there's actually like a real legitimate possibility it could happen. Are we doing just Mavs related trades? No, we'll be cooking up shit in the trade machine for weeks. For weeks. I would love Kobe White. Andrew Nimhard, no, the Pacers aren't letting him go. Let's just go. I'm not going team by team, but like I'm trying to think what guards could be available that people aren't talking about. That you could just be like, oh shit, that guy was available. Would you rather Derek White or Kobe White on the Mavs? Well, I mean, Derek White's just way better. Anthony Black? Dude wants something like pretty significant in return. Lonzo? I'm trying to think of some guards. I'm just looking up and down these rosters. What guards could be sneaky available? How about let's just try to concoct a Kobe White trade. who I do think I actually I've kind of gone back and forth on this. I absolutely think he could be available. He's on one of the cheaper contracts and one of the better contracts in the league, $12 million a year. But next year is the final year of that deal. And he's going to get paid. And maybe the Bulls look at that and say, yeah, yeah, we're going to pay Giddey. Like, let's get something in return here. Now, I think there's a pathway here where Gafford's involved in the trade. Not sure the Bulls would be all that interested, unless they trade Vucevic somewhere else, in which case maybe they could be interested in bringing Gafford in. Could be. Why wouldn't they try to make the playoffs in the week East with Giddey and White? Well, maybe you're just trying to maximize return on Kobe White right now while you can. Technically bringing Gafford back. That's right. Where he started his career. 3-team trade with Mavs, Spurs, and Bulls. What's a PJ Washington landing space? Because I think there's a 4-team trade scenario here where the Mavs could try and land Kobe White for not giving up like the picks that I thought could be required. OKC. Like what? I haven't even thought about a PJ Washington destination. And I don't even think he's going to get traded. And this feels fucked up. But it's a possibility. Just so happy that the first trade we're cooking up is a 4-teamer. Yep. We're going right into it, baby. We're not fucking around. The Grizzlies. PJ to the Lakers. Okay, maybe we don't go PJ. I agree. Maybe we don't go PJ. Look, a trade that's in my mind that I think could happen, and maybe it's a little too rich even. I'm not entirely sure. But I always like to go a little bit richer in mock trades just because, these things usually cost money. Is Gafford to the Lakers, whatever contract, Rui or whatever contract is required. Rui, would you rather have Rui or Vando? I'd rather just have the expiring. Rui to the Bulls, Kobe White to the Mavs, and then whatever pick the Mavs feel comfortable trading. 2031 first. Maybe you protect it. Maybe you're protecting a top 5 pick or something like that. Let's just say that. To the Bulls. And then this Lakers pick. Maybe they protect it. I don't know. To the Bulls. So the Bulls are getting 2 picks in this. Bulls should give us a pick for Gafford. The Lakers are getting their center. The Mavs are getting a guard. I don't think the Lakers do that. Yeah, that is kind of also where I'm at. Would the Lakers give up a pick? But in this scenario, like people have been mocking the Reeves thing. In this scenario, you're just giving up a first for a very good center that plays really well alongside Luka. I don't think Lakers do Rui in a pick. Really? Rui on an expiring? But the thing about the timelines is if you like Kobe White, he's 25. 2 first for Kobe is insane, man. That's the thing is I have no clue what his value is going to be on the market. Next to none. How do teams view him? Do you see someone who 2 years in a row has been incredible? Just average 20. White's a rental? I mean, the rentals don't, like, what does a free agent market look like for Kobe White? And I think in a scenario like this, you're trading for White and extending him. You want to pay him? Why wouldn't I want to pay him if I'm the Mavs? I think I'd feel comfortable paying him. I mean, he's not getting a max. He can he can be the guard for my team while Kyrie's out. Can those two play together? I'm not entirely sure about that. He's not getting peanuts in it either. You're married to him through the window. Yeah, but I mean, they're gonna have to trade for a guard either way. So you're gonna have to get a guard. That's a mandatory requirement for the Mavericks this offseason. You have to get a guard. That's not up for debate. And he needs to be a good one. If you're wanting to compete for a championship, it has to be a good one. This is the gap year with Kyrie injury and Cooper rookie year. You can get a cheaper bench option. If the Mavericks view this year as a gap year, you need to be fielding every single phone call you get about Anthony Davis. If the Mavericks view this season as a gap year, you need to be fielding phone calls for Anthony Davis. Kobe Buffkin, stay with me now. What if we do try to get Darius Garland? So that one's interesting to me because, okay, not even really worth discussing because it's not going to fucking happen. Why would the Cavs trade Darius Garland? But okay, Darius Garland and Mavs. So am I paying Kyrie in this scenario? Because if I am, what the hell is that backcourt? You were worried about a defensive backcourt with Luka and Kyrie. Now I'm bringing that's Darius Garland and Kyrie. Would the Spurs do a trade centered around AD and Castle if they don't want to pay the full Giannis price? There's no point in doing an AD trade. They're not going to trade him. Like, they're just not going to do it. At very least, not this summer. Maybe if next year goes weird, maybe next summer. But they're not trading him this. Like, there's no point of even having this conversation. No, there's genuinely no point in having this conversation. You're looking at guards. You're looking at, look, I'm not doing Drew. I'm not doing it. $32 million. There's no fucking way. No way am I doing Drew. Like, maybe you pony up and pay Derek White. If I'm the Celtics, I'm not trading Derek White. I'm just not. I'm trying my hardest to keep him. The Knicks will not be trading a guard, and they really don't have a guard. The Pacers are not trading them hard. That would be stupid on their end. They're not doing it. They'll make a move in the offseason, if I had to guess, just because they probably need to. Keep in mind the Mavs are a second apron team with the flag contract. Yeah, they're gonna make moves to try and shed some salary. That's gonna happen. Sexton. So think Cole Anthony. What would that cost? What do you have that could interest the Magic? I'd make some arguments that the Magic need a guy like Gafford in some ways. All signs point towards Ben Simmons. I'd argue that could be a trade. Cole Anthony would be underwhelming, but I'm not going to lie. Cole Anthony's on an expiring. No, he's got $13 million. That's probably we know that the Mavericks view their sort of bench wing guys in the $8 million range. We know that for a fact. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for guys in that area to be around $8 million. If I just had to guess, I would say $12 million for a backup guard around full mid-level. That would be my guess, is what they're looking at price-wise. If they're going above that, then it's a big sizable trade and they're going to want a lot. Don't they already have Goga, Mo Wagner, and Carter Jr. as viable centers, though? Gafford's immediately the best in that bunch. Wendell is just... Ugh. Chicago receives Cody Martin, 27th pick. Brooklyn receives Jaden Hardy. Dallas receives Lonzo Ball. Why the fuck are the Nets doing that? Giving up a first-round pick for Hardy? Would you trade for Nick Smith? I can't sit here and say that I've watched enough Hornets games to be like super in on Nick Smith, but I mean, maybe. Maybe. Is there a sneaky... No, there's no Harden scenario. There's no Harden scenario. We can't get through with Harden. What about Davion Mitchell? Davion Mitchell is an interesting one. I think the problem here is you have to find a guy who can like kind of carry your offense for a little bit. And Davion Mitchell's just not, he's not that guy. That's why you look at like a Sexton, you look at a Sexton, you look at a Kobe White, you squint and you see Cole Anthony, like someone who's just like, all right, that guy can give me like 20 points in a game. CJ McCollum, 30 million is just hard to get to. PJ for Scottie Pippen Jr. What's up with PJ to the Grizzlies? Did I miss something? So Monk's an interesting one, actually. 18 million. I feel like that's just kind of tough for the Kings because who the fuck's going to be your lead guard next year then? But there's a possibility Monk is not happy there. Like, what does a Malik Monk trade look like? PJ's fit there is wonky. They don't need Gafford. Monk for Najee and Christie. I could see the Kings liking Max Christie. Shooter who can play some defense. So would it be Najee and Christie and picks for Monk? They're getting Fred VanVleet. I'm out. I'm out on them trading for any big contract guy because I think it's going to be so fucking complicated. I just think it's going to be so like the Mavs trying to get to 44 million is like next to impossible. What about Jalen Green? I mean, Jalen Green's at 30. The Jalen Green one would have to be something like, let's get sicko. Let's get sicko. All right, Giannis, boom, I want to get traded. All right, we'll trade you to the Rockets. Fine. All right, Rockets say, I mean, I'm just imagining this scenario. Rockets say, yeah, we're not doing Şengün. It's going to be Jalen Green. And the Bucks are like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. Fine. But the Bucks say, we don't want Jalen Green, though. Some other team needs to come and get him. The Mavs say, oh, hey, we need a guard. All right. Dude, this is disgusting. Okay, fine. Jalen Green goes to the Mavs. So who's going where? Who else is going where? Who else is going where? Giannis is on the Rockets. You'd have to go to get to 33. Let's just say Gafford goes to the Bucks. Hey, you know what? You want to get extra sick? All right, here. Let's actually get extra sick. The Lakers are involved in this trade. And they're so desperate for a center that we're going to send Gafford to the Lakers. And they say, you know what? We're done with the Reeves shit. Reeves to the Bucks. And the Bucks say, all right, we'll take Reeves as sort of like a centerpiece, right? Reeves and Reed Shepherd. We're getting lunch pail guys to the Bucks. And do we need anything else? We need one more contract, I think, from the Rockets for this to work. How about all right, how about Jabari? Okay. Where else does this go? Where else do we have to get to? And then PJ? You know what? Let's get even sicker. Let's throw the Grizzlies in here. The Grizzlies want PJ, I guess, is what people are saying. How do they even get there? Who are they trading? No, the Grizzlies can't be involved. You watched all 7 games on playback. You make a Jalen. You guys told me to do a Jalen Green package. You guys told me to do a Jalen Green package. All right, and then what? PJ to the Bucks. Does this? Okay, let's just see if this works contractually. The Mavs need to get rid of another contract, I think. Okay. Hardy to the Bucks. Fuck it. This actually works contractually. And obviously picks. This is the most sick thing that's ever been produced. I'm sorry that I just had to subject you guys to this. This is the most disgusting, sickening thing that's ever been concocted. But you guys asked for it. Yeah, if I'm the Mavs in this scenario, I'm saying, hold on a second. Reeves is involved in this trade. I'm just Gafford for Lakers. Let's do a private phone call. Slightly, I just took Brad Stevens' job. I'm calling and offering you Pritchard for Max and a first. For Max Christie? Pritchard? I'm saying yes to that. Would you guys do that? I'm saying yes to that. Pritchard, I'd do it. I would do Max Christie in a first for Pritchard. I know that sounds crazy, but I would do it 100%. Yeah, Boston wouldn't do that. They need unironically, Pritchard has now become such an important piece to their puzzle. Like Pritchard is the well, not really, because Pritchard wanted this. Remember, Pritchard demanded a trade. Pritchard has become the my job. I just became very important at my job. That's Pritchard now moving forward. Yeah, wow. Pritchard's contract, $6 million, $7 million, $7 million, $8 million. Wow. That's going to look very good. That takes him until he's 31, by the way. That's a hell of a contract. You want to know what scares me, though? Let me tell you a scenario that scares me. What does a smart trade look like for the Mavs? This is my biggest nightmare scenario. Is Smart. However, I do think there's a scenario in which you could get a pick in return for this or something. Maybe not from the Wizards, but in like a 3-team type of scenario. Like, I'm trying to think of Paul at the $2, quit willing stuff into being a la Woods. I mean, I'm just looking around, and Smart feels like the Mavs could look at that and be like, 1 year, we're not like that tied to it. I'm excited to be back on Fanspo. I am. You want to know what I'm gonna do, and you guys can hold me to this. We'll do a stream here in the near future, maybe even later this week. Because I'm not realizing, like, I'll be leaving for Europe in like a month. So it's like kind of go time. You know? Like, we're approaching go time for the offseason stuff for me. It's always hard because, like, you're focused on the... You're focused on the offseason or the postseason. I think I want to do a stream where we sit down and we look at every single team and we're like, how can the Mavs make a trade? Like, who on this team can the Mavs make a trade for? I'll miss the draft, yes. Like, I'm trying to think. All right, Smart. Smart to the Mavs. Gafford. Would the Wizards want Gafford? Probably not. But hey, maybe. Depends on what they do in the draft, right? What pick do they have again? They could draft the Duke kid. I'm not even close to being able to say his name. The Duke kid. Hey, maybe they don't draft him, and maybe like, hey, you know what? We kind of need a center. Can he be traded back? Yeah, it's been over a year. Maluak is how you say it? All right, Maluak. Think Gafford was glad not to be losing on the Wizards anymore. Yeah, but they're getting better. Maluak. All right, I'll get there, I promise. Is there another Gafford destination? Like, we're just hammering Gafford Lakers. Is there another destination for Gafford? I mean, it's like a seamless fit. Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta's interesting, especially with Capella. Suns, yeah, but how do the Suns even get there? What do the Suns even have to trade in that scenario? Nuggets, yeah, but I mean, how did they even get there? Hawks is kind of interesting. Could the Mavs get another could Hawks don't have to send out salary? Is that right? Is that right? Well, there'd have to be salary going somewhere, though. So Gafford to the Hawks. Using the DeJounte trade exception, the Mavs get Marcus Smart and maybe a pick in this draft. And maybe we'll just throw like a second or some seconds or some shit to the Hawks for just being involved in the trade. To the Wizards, I meant. No, that doesn't work. Oh, the Mavericks are taking on way more money. That's right. Marcus Smart's making $21 million. It does work for the Hawks. How do the Hawks have so much money? Kings desperately need a real big next to Sabonis. Caleb Martin. Can we pawn him off? And the Mavs can actually end up saving some money in this trade. I say pawn off. That's a little mean, but I always kind of felt like the Mavs got Caleb Martin to trade him. Like, that's always kind of how I felt. The Mavs end up saving some money in this trade. The Wizards get probably a few extra seconds just to be involved in this trade. The Hawks get a center for free, for a 22nd overall pick. Wizards need more? I don't think so. I mean, Marcus Smart, what the fuck is it? He's played, 30 games the last 2 years? Is this a good trade? I'm looking at it from the Mavs side. I'm like, Marcus Smart is a no for me. Truth be told, he's old. He doesn't play anymore, and I think he stopped being good like 3 years ago. But you are getting a pick here. But it's a 22nd overall pick. You're swinging for the fences. They did do something very similar like to this with Rashawn Holmes, by the way. The Mavs did. Let's I mean, I don't know. Maybe they could trade to Wizards. Trade to Wizards. I don't know. Wizards just get some second rounders for their time. Get you off some money. Mavs get off some money. Gives you some breathing room. This is a trade I could see happening is a thing. What's the best guard we can get by packaging Gaff and PJ without giving up a pick? So I think there's a world where you could land like a Kobe White in that scenario. But it would have to be like a 4-team trade where you're basically rerouting picks that have been given to you. Because I think there's teams out there that'll probably give up a first for PJ. You can get AR for PJ and Gaff for sure. So what are some teams that could give up a first for PJ, you think? We think hold on, let me save this trade. Down the line down the line whenever I need these for like a Bleacher Report stream or something. Let me save these. You always got to look at it through the lens of like a You got to look at these through the lens of like 3-team trades usually. OKC. The thing about OKC is they're about to be a very expensive roster. And so you have to pay PJ. Magic. PJ does fit for every team, but it's going to have to be a team that thinks they're like kind of a PJ away, if that makes sense. Could the Pistons be interested in a guy like PJ? How about the Heat? Like a real legitimate 4 to play next to Bam? I'm also trying to think about teams that are like, yeah, we're cool with paying PJ. We're okay with it. We can do it. I mean, they had Cam Johnson mock trade Cam Johnson to the Blazers. Pistons. What contracts do they have to dangle around though? That's the thing. The Pistons don't have like. They still have money though. So I'm thinking a trade like. All right, Gafford to the Lakers. PJ to the Pistons. Kobe White to the Mavs. Lakers are sending a future first to the Bulls in this scenario. The Pistons, what's their pick situation? I don't think the Pistons have like hoarded a bunch of picks though, unless I'm wrong. Next year's first for PJ? Do the Pistons do this? I kind of don't think the Pistons would do this, to be honest with you. Top 14 protected. All right, how about just like a top 5 protected next year pick? Trade to the Bulls. We got to get money. Money keep coming in. I can't lose. We'll trade Vincent. No, it's gotta be Rui. Rui to the Bulls. And can the Pistons just absorb this? Does this work financially? No, they can't. No, the Pistons can't even come close to absorbing that. That was this year, right? Where they could absorb. So some other contract has to go to the Mavs. Fontecchio. Hey, gross. That does work. That surprisingly does work. Mavs save some money. Lakers get their big. Pistons get PJ. Bulls get a couple firsts for Kobe White. Let's not dwell on this. Mavs get at least one of those picks. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Gafford and PJ. Tough. I don't know what Kobe White's value is. That's what's just so hard about a Kobe White trade. I don't know what his value is. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I like this for the Mavs, really. You're still alive? Yeah, but not for long. I can't believe we rambled. This